All right. So we got ourselves a proper cinema camera here. So back in December 2021, I was in the market of purchasing a cinema camera. Now I had all Sony bodies at the time, and everyone talks about the Canon colors, and I just had to know for myself what I was missing out on. So I ended up purchasing a Canon C70, and alongside that a Canon R5 as well. And I used that system for about 3 to 4 months, and I soon realized that it was just not for me. And so in today's video, I want to talk to you about why that was and why I switched to the FX6 instead. Alright, so since I know this is a touchy subject, let me just start off by saying that Canon is a great system. In fact, my foray into videography and photography was Canon. I used Canon throughout my 20s and I just loved that camera system. But when I started doing more video, I realized that there was better options out there. So we switched to using Lumix, and then once we were ready to invest in a full frame system, we ended up purchasing Sony. Now my goal here is not to make an argument why Canon is better than Sony. Is just simply to tell you why the FX6 was a better option for me, and it might be a better option for you if you are in the market as well. That said, let me first tell you what attracted me to the C70. So first of all, just the camera body, the ergonomics itself. I just love the fact that it was a bulkier DSLR, and it was just going to be a lot more compact for me to run and gun with. Second was the ND filters. I just love the fact that I wasn't going to be fidgeting with these ND filters that I was going to have to screw on and off. Number 3 was the professional audio inputs, and number 4 were the Canon colors. But as soon as I started working with that system, there were a lot of things that just annoyed me about the Canon ecosystem in general. And so here are my complaints. Why does this camera, being Super 35, it has an RF mount, but yet there are no RF APS-C lenses, or at least not a lot of them that are great. And so you can use a speed booster to make your Super 35 sensor into full frame, but then you're forced to use EF glass. And the issue with EF glass is that if you use it for autofocus, it's just really loud. And so it just kind of seemed like Canon didn't really have, you know, their together, frankly. And so primarily those things were just a little frustrating and annoying for me. And so it just made sense for me to get an FX6, also considering that I have E-mount glass. So when I first posted that I had gotten this camera inside of the Facebook group, everybody asked me, where did you get it? Because, you know, it's been sold out for the longest time. And so really, guys, I would say if you really want this camera, then put in the effort to find it. For example, I was searching eBay every single day. I would check it multiple times to see if it ever came out of market. But if you are interested in purchasing a camera like this, check the Facebook Marketplace, BDH, check Adorama, check all of those websites. Call your local store and establish a relationship with them and have them put you on a waiting list. Those are all things that you can do if you really want to find this camera. In fact, I'd say go on Facebook and post on there, is anyone willing to sell their FX6? And I'm sure that you would find some people that would consider selling it. They just haven't gone through the process of putting it online. So I ended up finding this on eBay, and the gentleman that I bought it from put together this really nice package with a few lenses, a few different battery options. And so it was the entire package there, but it was quite expensive. I ended up reaching out to the guy and I was just messaging with him. I ended up making him an offer where I said, hey man, if you're willing to give me this price, I'll buy it right now. And it was hilarious because I was at the movies with Billy and I'm over here like messaging this guy on eBay until he finally said yes, made that payment that night. And a few days later, he sent the camera, which was awesome. And so taking this baby out of the box, it was definitely intimidating at first. I've mainly dealt more with mirrorless cameras, and YouTube doesn't help. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of videos on the FX6 and the best practices when it comes to work it. There are some really good guides that you can ultimately purchase for the FX6, but I didn't really want to spend the money to do so. And so I ended up just having to pick it up and start messing around with it. So as far as the handling of the camera, top handle, the side handle, and all of the buttons here, it's pretty awesome. And so once you start messing around with it, it does get easy to use. It's really convenient. Everything is where it should be, and it just feels really nice to work with. So I did get to test this out on 4th of July. We had a little barbecue and we went to the pool. It was really nice. And I got to test this in a daylight setting when there was very harsh light, and also at nighttime to test that low light capability. One of my fears in getting this camera, and one of the things that I really liked about the C70, was just how soft and cinematic the image looked. That was one of the things that I was concerned as far as the FX6 goes, because to me, cinema means softer images and more, you know, cinematic, right? And since I know the Sony image can be a little bit more processed and sharp, I was concerned what this camera was gonna give me. And I did shoot with a 1/8 mist filter that day, but honestly, I really love the image that was coming out of this camera. It was very nice, very soft. The skin tones looked really good. I shot everything in S-Log 3, Gamut 3 Cine, and it just looked really, really nice. Now, I did have an issue where the image was pulsing, but I don't really think that was an issue with the camera itself. I was shooting with the 35mm G Master, and I think that was happening because of this lens in particular, but that was something that I did notice as well. My last comment on this is that I was really impressed when it came to the low light footage. Now, we all know that the FX6, the FX3, and the A7S III, they're all praised for their low light capabilities, but honestly, I personally feel that the FX6 does a way better job of producing a nicer image than the FX3 and the A7S III. I know there's some people that don't have that opinion. That's okay, but I don't know. I do like how the grain looks soft, and it looks really good on the skin tones and just the overall image. Now, if you want to put some noise reduction on there, it'll definitely look a lot better, but it looks really good out of camera. All I did was apply a phantom LUT and did some little adjustments, and that was pretty much it. I'm really excited about using this camera more on our day-to-day, and if there's something that you would like for me to test or show you about the camera, definitely let me know, because I am interested in making more videos about this. I have a buddy who is considering getting a red Komodo, and I would love to do some tests against that camera specifically. Go ahead and give him a shout out. I'll link him here in the video, and go and tell him, hey man, go purchase that red camera so we can do these comparisons. All right, thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this video, then you might also like the video I did of the Canon C70. So if you want to go check that out, the link's right there. So that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.